Alright, here is the should be well known by now dive profile. I wanted to put that last video in its own video because I shot that in 4K and the rest of this is going to be in 1080p. So anyway, normally if you've seen intro to my dives, I almost always put temperature overlaid on the dive profile with the depths and the time. But this time I'm showing you pressure. First of all, the temperature wasn't that interesting. It was a constant 77 degrees. I wanted to show the starting pressure here, and if you drag that over, or scan over all the way from the left where the pressure starts to the gauge or to the scale on the right, you see my tank was about above 2300. It's about 2330, I think, was my starting pressure. I'd have to check the exact number. Yeah, this was very rough seas. This is one of the worst dives I've been on. Mostly my fault. I blame the rest on the weather. Yeah, it was just so a little bit on the dive boat. So we jumped into the water off the back of the boat, and the descent point was at the front of the boat, and it was very heavy into the current. I had an extremely hard time surface swimming from the back of the boat to the front of the boat. And the captain was just like, "You gotta swim, you gotta swim." I mean, she was like yelling at me. And there was a few times I didn't think I was gonna make it. Man, I don't know. I was getting tired, I am by no means a good swimmer. I can blame some of that on my Achilles now, I think. My whole body is atrophied. But even before that, I wasn't a good swimmer. Maybe I can blame some on the fins. I still have off-the-shelf fins from the day I walked into the dive shop and got certified, so that's going to change. I'm definitely going to get some new fins after this. But the biggest mistake, the dumbest thing I did not put my snorkel in. You learn day one of dive class, use a snorkel. Always have your snorkel with you. So I had it with me. It was strapped to my leg. Still no mouthpiece on it, which would have made it very much harder to use in the surf. It was pretty choppy. These waves were coming, nearly crashing over your head kind of deal. So I was using my regulator the entire way on the surface swim. Really stupid. You're not supposed to do that because you burn through air. And that's what I was doing. And I was getting very tired. I was out of breath. I kind of seeked refuge by the boat. I did kind of go to the boat, put my hand on it just to, there's nothing to really grab onto, but I could just kind of hold myself steady and just, rest a little bit. Because as soon as I start resting or stop paddling, I started floating down the wrong way. And this is where I kind of blame the dive outfit a little bit. They should have had a rope, I feel like, connecting to the front of the boat. I've been on dive boats like that before, where you jump in the water, you grab a rope, and you pull yourself to the descent point. They did not have that. I think they should have had that. I don't know if they normally do. They just didn't have it today. I don't know. That was a little irritating to me, but yeah, I finally got to the front of the boat, completely out of breath. I had sucked down 700 air on my tank. That is the absolute opposite of what you want to do. I should have been using my snorkel. That was 100% on me. I'm going to buy a mouthpiece for that snorkel, and from now on, anytime I jump in the ocean, I am going to have that snorkel attached to my mask. Very much a safety issue. Yeah, I was trying to swim, and there were some times I thought, I'm going to have to call it, get back on the boat. I'm not going to be able to make it. And, yeah, my buddy had no problem. Just boop, 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 kick, kick, kick. Well, like Michael Phelps over there, right to the front. So I blame the fins. I'm kidding. I blame a combination of my poor swimming skills, and I could probably get some better fins. So definitely going to look into that. But all right, I've been talking too much about that. Let's get into the dives finally. The dive itself was pretty cool. Let me flip over to the video. Yes. Hey guys, sorry for the weird cut. If you watch my videos out of order, then you've already heard this. But I already laid down voiceover commentary for this first dive. And I went to create it in my video editor and learned that all the videos I watched were out of order. So turns out VLC playlist had the randomize button selected. I didn't realize that until I got through the second dive videos. Yeah, so I was going to create the video in Kdenlive and realized what I was saying wasn't matching up with the screen whatsoever. So here we go, redoing the commentary for the first dive. I Alright, saw some cool fish there in the beginning. Somebody was filtering some sand, and then we got a skinny needle-nose fish there about 10 seconds back. I'm not re-recording the initial part where I'm staring at the dive profile because, you know, that one is always at the beginning and that already matches up. And I did that about 2 days ago now, so I'm probably going to repeat myself some. Apologize for that, but yeah, I mentioned there, I know at least that this dive was pretty bad for me. The current was very terrible, very strong, at least for my weak swimming legs. Jumped off the back of the boat, had to swim to the front of the boat, and I could barely do it. You know, I was burning through air, which is really stupid. Attached a mouthpiece to my snorkel today, so I will never be jumping in the ocean again without a snorkel attached to my mask. So we'll see how that works. I also bought some new fins today. I got, what did I get? Scuba Pro. Oh man, what did I get? Scuba Pro something Supernova. I don't know. They had pretty good reviews. I watched a lot of videos about them, explaining the physics behind how they work. Really supposed to do a good job at driving through the water. They were $300, so I'm just looking at my watch flopping my wrist, and I realized I forgot to get a bungee cord for it. Oh, darn it. That'll be the next thing. Yeah, I was irritated on this dive. Watch was flopping around. Couldn't keep up with my buddy. It's out of breath. We were swimming hard the entire time. At least not that. Once we finally got under the water for this dive, this one calmed down a little bit. There was a lot less swimming here. But yeah, I've already seen these videos now. I like to do commentary where I watch them for the first time. I think that's more authentic in terms of my reaction to it. So kind of spoiled that a little bit here because I've already seen these and there's not a whole lot to see. Please, I'm not trying to tell you to leave. Watch my videos. Stay on my channel. But yeah, I was hoping to get better footage of the Barracudas, and unless I somehow missed that video, it's just not there. There's a little bit. In fact, this might be the one, because they were kind of hanging out in this little atrium. I guess I'll call it that. Yeah, I think there was at least 4 of them, and they were big, about 5 feet. Yeah, there's one on the left. You could just barely see it. I should have got better video of them. Yeah, you can see him in the top left corner there. That's a pretty good sized Barracuda in my opinion. In all my ocean voyages, you know, I think they get bigger than that, but it's a good sized one for sure. Oh, there he is. Yeah, I think I lost my buddy for a minute. And I can't remember, I might have mentioned this in the opener, but this dive was the first moment I've ever had kind of an oh-ish kind of moment because of the wildlife. So these cudas were sitting there, and I think it happened when we swam around here and took a left, which I don't have video of, but the current was kind of pushing us towards the Barracudas at that point. And I was getting there you can see him. And I was getting pretty close to him, uncomfortably close, before I realized really what was going on. And he was not budging. You know, just staring back at me with that underbite they've got and those teeth hanging out. And I was probably got within 10 feet of him. I don't know, things are magnified under the water, but it felt like about 10 feet. And he was not backing down. And I was like, I need to get out of here. He was just checking me out, not afraid of a thing. And that's when I got that butterflies in my stomach moment. Like, I need to get going. This is not a place for me to be. So yeah, I think he was just to my left here. I don't know why I didn't turn the camera. I think I was trying to get out of there. And taking a video wasn't really on the top of my mind. But yeah, I wish I'd gotten some better footage of the cudas. But what you gonna do? The fact that I'm having to redo this commentary is just perfect illustration of how this dive went. You know, it's just kind of the whole dive in a nutshell. The thing screwed up. It wasn't good. Trying to do it again. Yeah, I'd expect nothing less for this dive. But, yeah, we got lost here too. Another thing, I got a 22-minute segment coming up. We got to a point where we got lost, but I'll talk about it then, I guess. Although, really not much to say in terms of what's happening on the screen here. It's a nice reef. Yeah, I guess rich people pay to get their ashes interred here. I don't know. Probably not something I'd ever do, but you know, it's people spend their money in different ways. So this is my second time diving this. I think I mentioned that. The first time was back in almost exactly 2 years ago, back in February of 2022. I think it was February, but January maybe. I don't know. But it's a good spot. The water was a constant 77 degrees. There's okay. Here's some CUDA videos. Yeah, all right. There's 2 of them. Okay, you know, I don't think I got this the first time. I might have. Oh, there's one up top too. Yeah. Okay, so there was 3 of them. Hey, all right. I think I missed this my first watch through. Yeah, that would explain some of the commentary was totally not matching up. I don't know. I don't know what I was doing last. Yeah, so I came wrong. So this was the time. Yeah, they were hanging out there, right there, and this current started pushing me towards them. All right, so there's 3 of them. Was there 4? Maybe there's one up top. I don't know. And I was starting to freak out a little bit at that moment, but yeah, that's when I put the camera down and started swimming away. Yeah, there's some. Okay, you know what? I thought I had some better CUDA videos. Alright, so there you go. I spoke too soon. I did get some pretty good footage of the video, of the Barracudas, but you know, with the white balance being so bad here, it's hard to really see it. Hard to see them that well. Yeah, I feel like the white balance, I don't know. This might be like the perfect depth for terrible white balance. Maybe I'm making that up. Maybe it just gets worse the further you go down. But I feel like these dives in particular, it was just it couldn't even make up its mind whether it wanted to be green or blue. But this is the super long segment, so we actually were lost at this point, I think. I was lost. The visibility was pretty good, I thought. Maybe like 30 feet, which is a lot better than what I'm usually used to. But overall, yeah, I don't know how. I think it was right after we swam past those CUDAs. We went to check something else out, and man, you couldn't see it. We turned back around and couldn't find the structures. My sense of direction is terrible anyway, and it really can get difficult underwater. Yeah, my buddy found our way back. I don't know how he did it. I was pretty close to popping up to the surface. Just like I said, I was already frustrated with this whole dive. But at this point, yeah, I was so frustrated. I was like, you know what? We got lost. I'm out of breath. I'm just gonna put the camera away for the rest of the dive. And I thought I'd cut the video feed, and I didn't. So I stuffed the camera in my pocket, and it was rolling the whole time. So most of this video is black. And I'm going to cut a lot of that out, obviously. Yeah, I'm staring at my compass like I know that. Like that's going to help. Pretending to navigate, putting on a show, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to cut that out. Although, there's some conversation, so when I get back to the... Whoa, what is that? Box or something? Treasure chest? Yeah. Okay, so we got our way back now. But yeah, when I get actually on the boat, you can hear some kind of conversation between, you know, me and my buddy and the rest of the, you know, the divers. So I might leave that part in and not talk over it. Yeah, I don't know. It was so it turns out you'll hear it on the boat if you listen for it. But yeah, my buddy's GoPro wouldn't turn on. We had a whole GoPro conversation before we jumped in. And he was, they're saying, "Oh, I just got it, it's time for my kids to see what I do on these trips," or something along those lines. And he said he got underwater and it wouldn't turn on. Which that's happened to me sometimes too. The only solution I've found is rip out the battery, put it back in. Yeah, I guess it's just some bug in the firmware. I don't know. Yeah, so at this point, I had enough. I just had enough with the camera. And I thought I'd cut recording, or maybe I didn't know it was recording, which is probably more likely. Stuffed it in my pocket, and this is the rest of the video. So I think I've said all I really want to say about this dive. I'm glad that CUDA footage did show up. I think I was missing a video when I did the first commentary, because not only did it not line up with what I was saying on the screen, but there was a huge gap between like the length of the audio file and the length of all the videos. So I think I missed a segment. It might have been that CUDA footage at the end. But all right, I'm gonna cut the rest of this out, and yeah, take a look at the second dive if you want. There's a bunch of lobsters in that one, most I've ever seen in one spot. So take a listen for the boat conversation, and then hang on for the lobsters.
Sorry, dude.
No, it's okay.
Can't swim in there.
Was the current bad?
Yeah. When we jumped off, I burned through 1,000 air on the surface just trying to get over it. I was out of breath. Couldn't kick anymore.
Pulling hard too.
Jeez. Just had to get under the water.
Went a little bit off the site, but then that big
Yeah, I thought we lost it, man.
No, we were just a little. We were just a little bit. What? If that's north, okay, we're a little bit south of it, and that's why we turned around. I just want to see that big thing at school, Barracuda.
Yeah, I've never seen.
Hey, so you're the GoPro ninja. Mine wouldn't turn on at all. Are you meant to turn on before you go down?
That'll happen sometimes.
Are you serious?
The only thing I can do is yank the
Turn
battery
on
up, put it back in.
Oh, motherfucker.
You can say, yeah. Sometimes.
All
That's
that
one thing
effort and
that
all
works
that
on,
money.
yeah.
For
It's happened to me a couple times. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. You get it on the next one. Yeah, that's yank the battery out and put it back in, and I think it'll.
Understood problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, have an amateur all come in to turn on beforehand.
I usually turn mine on in the water.